This doesn't light your fireman, the pilot lights out.
This football team is coming into our place. We're standing in our way.
This is a game of the heart. Focus and finish.
We still have one game to go, but out of the top 50 point scoring positions in traditional fantasy football leagues, in week 2, only 8 were running backs. Only 4 were in the top 38 and only 1 in the top 11. Last week, there was just 5 running backs in the top 50 in scoring. Now go back to your draft and find out how many running backs were in the first round of your league. Listen to what I had to say Friday before week 2's games. Alright, here's what I know. If you can somehow pretend you didn't see last night's game between the Jets and the Pats, this is now a passing league with the rules of the game changed to make the passing game more successful. With the weather still mild around the country and 3 games in dome stadiums this weekend, the ball is going to be flying around stadiums throughout the country this weekend, and for the second week in a row, I expect that major breakout games are going to come from quarterbacks, wide receivers, and tight ends, and not the running backs. After week 1, people were telling me, it's just week 1. After week 2, people are going to be telling me, it's just 2 weeks. Well, that's fine, but I'm going to be 2-0. And the chances are, if you spent your top picks on running backs rather than quarterbacks and wide receivers, you're going to be 0-2, particularly if you face competition that was heavily dependent on running backs. Times have changed, folks. It's a passing league. Oh, yeah, those guys are running, but they're all quarterbacks. I don't care where you live, you need to pay attention to what's going on in Houston. Through 2 games, Arian Foster has 37 carries for 136 yards. That's 3.7 yards per carry. His handcuff, Ben Tate, has 18 carries for 148 yards, averaging 8.2 yards per carry. It may not be long before these two switch their handcuffs. If you look at RG3 stats, they're not bad, but virtually anything that looks good has come in garbage time. After rushing for 815 yards and 7 TDs last season, Griffin has just 9 rushing attempts for 25 yards after 2 weeks. If the Redskins are going to be overly protective of RG3 and not let him run the zone read, then he's just another quarterback, and his fantasy owners will have been duped. Now, looking at tonight's game, the must guy that you need in your lineup on the Pittsburgh side of the ball is, no one. Hey, before the season started, I stated that the Raiders or the Jaguars had the worst offensive line in the NFL. I take it back, my bad. The Steelers win the door prize. Even at 6'5", 250, if Roethlisberger makes it through the season without crutches, I'll be shocked. On the Bengals side, I think A.J. Green and Mohamed Sanu are both set up for big games tonight. I think even Jermaine Grissom and Tyler Eifert will do you good. I know these two rivals usually play tight games and division games are usually battles. I just don't see any parity here. I think this one will be lopsided on both the scoreboard and from a fantasy perspective. Everything's going to be in Cincy's favor tonight. At Kelvin Mays wants to know if I'm concerned with Roddy White. Hell yeah, I'm concerned with Roddy White. He's playing on one ankle. He's just a decoy. So until you actually see him not be a decoy, he's a decoy. And use Harry Douglas. If you have a question you want answered here on the show, shoot me an email or hit me up with a tweet. I can only answer one question a day here, but if I don't get to yours, I'll tweet you back with my best advice. And be sure to tune in to the Roto Experts Fantasy Football News, Notes, and Analysis segment every weekday. I'll be here to keep you current and ahead of the competition, and on weekends, come back for This Week in Fantasy Football as I team up with the King, Scott Engel, covering the week that was, the week that will be, and answering your viewer questions. For Roto Experts, I'm Mike Cardano. See you tomorrow.